So the first AutoHotkey thing I really wanted to show was basically a status update on copying a clean URL from my watch later playlist. So that might not make sense right away, but I'll show you what the idea is and basically how I handle that now. So one of the big problems that I tend to have with watching videos from my watch later playlist is that playlist is so large that it basically freezes up my computer when I watch a video from a playlist. I'll show you what I'm talking about and then how I deal with it. So I'm going to demonstrate on here because I have it optimized for my Steam controller when I use it on the couch. So I'm going to switch to keyboard and mouse because I also need this hooked up to the Nook as well, where I have everything. So let me pull up my watch later playlist. So let's say I wanted to watch one of these videos. I would normally just click on the video and it freezes up. It takes forever because if I try to pause a video, because I'm in my watch later playlist, it just freezes up my computer because there's so many videos in there. I did have like 1500 in here before. I'll show you how I brought that down also later on. But anyway, it's a real pain to click on a playlist and just be in playlist mode to begin with, because at the end of a video it just jumps to the next item, and I don't like the autoplay feature. It really annoys me a lot. So I like to get a standalone video. Even if I'm referencing a video from the watch later playlist, I still like to have a standalone video because it's a pain to deal with otherwise. So one of the ways I get the standalone videos, I can come up to the URL bar. I might actually be able to launch Glassbrick on here too. Yeah, perfect. So I can come up to the URL bar and get rid of everything starting with that ampersand list. And I basically now have the video all by itself without referencing a playlist at all. So that's pretty nice. So basically what I do now is, it's kind of a pain to always go up to the URL bar and try to get rid of that part of the list. See how long that took to pause? That's all with the playlist loading. It's basically bloat. So I'll start up my Steam controller, because that's what I use most commonly with it. I'll come up to the URL bar, click the end, hold my shortcut to basically go like this with shift left arrow, go up to there, delete those characters, and then hit enter. That's a pain. It works pretty well, but it's also kind of a pain. There's a much better solution. I talked about trying to use AI to write an AutoHotkey script to basically automate that, getting a standalone video from a playlist. So come on. Okay, so if I go to my watch later now, what I can now do is basically, using my controller, I can do this on the keyboard too, but it's better on the controller, so I think I'll demonstrate with that. I can right click whatever video I want to watch, copy link address, and then just press Control V, which is like this on my controller. Why did that not work? Oh, because the tab name is screwed up. I can't have a video in a queue, otherwise it just simply won't work. Actually, it's because I have a notification. Okay, I got rid of the notification. Now I should be able to press Control V, and it opens it in a new tab with a clean URL right out of the gate. Pretty sweet, huh? So all I have to do is right click whatever video I want and paste. Boom. Clean URL. So I'm actually going to be right back before I show how to do that. Right, so now I'll basically show you how it's actually done. If we come into Notepad++. Basically, I mean, I used AI to help me with this, as you may have seen in my ChatGPT video. But basically what happens is, as you know, I right-click the video to copy it to clipboard. So at this point, the URL with the playlist in it is also copied to the clipboard. So now I can access that by saving the clipboard variable to URL. Now I want to probably save it to a separate variable rather than just manipulating clipboard directly. It might not actually matter that much. I really don't know. This works, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Anyways, so once I have the URL, then it gets rid of these aspects right here. I think it gets rid of it at a certain range. I'm not entirely sure how that works. It doesn't look like it should work though, because it's only removing those parts and not like the actual list index and this index either. It's possible that those are actually left in the URL and YouTube knows how to deal with it and it gets rid of the excess. I don't know. This works, so I'm not gonna complain about it, I guess. So once we basically get the URL and get rid of these elements, then it opens a new tab, presses WinL, which basically highlights the address bar. I use that all the time. Then it types in the URL into the URL bar using send input, hits enter, and that's it. But the way I make it work with Control V is I check if my watch later is actually the active window. I'm not checking if Brave is active, I'm checking if watch later is active, which is why I wasn't working before. I had one notification, so there was a 1 in parentheses, and that simply doesn't match this title right here. That's not really a big deal. I can just click the notification bell and it goes down just like that, whether I look at it or not. And then to make it work with Chrome, basically just duplicate that. So I can hit Control V if watch later is in focus, otherwise it simply won't work and it'll work with everything else. Control V will work like normal if that's the case. So yeah, I modified it a little bit and that's what it is now. So if you saw that ChatGPT video, this is an update to that particular script. I like it. On my main computer, I should probably update it to use Control V, but I just press Win Shift V, and that's muscle memory at this point, so it works just as well. But yeah, I have a Control V on here. I gently press this trigger, then fully press this trigger. And then Control C is the opposite of that. So anyway, that's pretty handy. And of course with the controller mapping, I've kind of gone over this before. I think I might have an excerpt, I'm not really sure. But I came up with my own controller button mappings and I did what makes sense to me. If you decide to use a Steam controller to control a computer, like on a couch, I would come up with your own mapping. Do what makes sense to you and just tweak around with it until you get exactly what you want. Just go right into here. And then you can change all your button mappings. I would recommend taking advantage of mode shifting. So if I press the left trigger gently without fully pressing it, then I have a whole bunch of other buttons that do slightly different things. And I also like doing regular presses and long presses. I find that particularly useful. Basically, I'm just using a bunch of keyboard shortcuts as button mappings on here. And I can do pretty much everything I want from this controller. Sometimes I like it even better than a keyboarded mouse. Sometimes it feels a little more comfortable with my hands and wrist ergonomic wise. And some of the button presses are just simply faster than keyboard shortcuts. So it's nice to have on the couch. It's even control or copy and paste is faster with this, I feel like, than it is on the keyboard and mouse, except for highlighting stuff. I just pasted, yep, undo with this also. Anyway, I've shown this before. I digress. So now you know how to... Basically, this script is how I do it. I'll probably share this on GitHub as well. Or you could just quickly copy this yourself. I mean, here's what you could also do. If you want a specific script that I don't have on GitHub yet, because I don't have it set up to just put a bunch of stuff up there right now, then just ask for something and I'll reply and paste it. Then you can copy and paste it from my reply. I apologize if the formatting gets screwed up as a result, but probably still an upgrade from manually writing it yourself while I don't have it on GitHub. So yeah, I really like that script because I can just, I want to watch, I don't know, this one now. Copy, then paste, boom. Clean URL. Now I'll just close that out. There we go. So that's it for that pretty much.